You might have the resume, you might have the experience, but if you answer this question the way 90% of candidates do, you're done before the interview even warms up. If you're interviewing right now, especially if you're leaving federal service or trying to land a better civilian role, this video is for you. By the time we're done, you'll be able to answer, so why are you leaving your current job? Clean, confident, and controlled without oversharing, without sounding scared, and without talking yourself out the job. Because this question exposes people, and most of y'all don't even realize you're exposing the wrong thing. You think you're helping your case, but you're actually handing them a red flag. And look, I know you think your answer makes sense. You think you're doing it right. You think being transparent helps. You think you're giving context, but you're not. You're walking straight into the trap that knocks out 90% of candidates. So here's what we're gonna do in this video. Real simple. First, I'll show you why this question derails people so fast. Then I'll break down what interview panels are really listening for when they ask. And finally, I'll give you a clean 3-part answer formula you can plug your own story into with specific tweaks if you're leaving federal service and moving to civilian. By the end, you're gonna stop defending yourself and start answering like a grown, strategic professional who knows exactly where they're going next. All right, let's get into it. Here's why the question hits so hard. Because most of you hear, why are you leaving? And your brain goes straight to story time. You start explaining how your boss changed, how the agency got messy, how leadership doesn't listen, how the workload doubled but the pay stayed the same. And you think if they understand what I've been dealing with, they'll see I'm reasonable. That's the biggest lie this question tells you, because the panel isn't sitting there thinking, wow, look what they survived. They're thinking, if they talk like this about them, how are they going to talk about us in a year? In their head, this question is not, why are you leaving? The real question is, are you running away from a mess or moving towards something better? Are you about to bring old drama into our shop? Are you going to be a problem when things get hard here too? I've sat in those rooms and I've been in those panels. I've watched people talk themselves out of great offers, not because they weren't qualified, but because they couldn't control this answer. Good people, strong resumes, done off one question. And the wild part, they walked out feeling like they kept it real. Meanwhile, the panel was writing blames leadership, negative about current employer, potential risk. That's the gap we're closing today. Where interviewers are really evaluating, let me give you the real lens. When they ask, so why are you leaving? They're testing 3 things. Your judgment, can you be honest without being messy? Do you know what's appropriate to share and what's not? Your mindset. Are you stuck in what happened to me, or are you focused on where I'm going next? They want to know your risk level. Are you low drama, low maintenance, mission focused, or are you about to be the next employer venting in the break room? That's it. They're not looking for a confession. They're not asking you to file a complaint on camera. So your job is not to explain yourself. Your job is to signal, I'm self-aware, I have a plan, I know how to leave well, and I'm moving toward something, not just escaping. Once you accept that, your whole answer changes. So let's fix it. I'll give you a simple 3-part answer formula you can use in almost any situation. Whether you're leaving a toxic manager, burned out from federal service, or just ready for the next level. We'll stay honest. We're not sugarcoating, but we're also not giving away ammo. Here's the formula. Write this down. Part 1, brief, neutral reason. Part 2, what you learned, outgrew. Part 3, what you're moving toward, tied to their role. Let me walk you through each. Part 1, brief, neutral reason. Don't overshare. You keep this short, clean, and non-dramatic. Bad version, my boss doesn't support me. The agency's a mess. Leadership plays favorites. Better version, I've reached a point where growth in my current role is limited. Or there's been a lot of restructuring and my role has shifted away from the type of work I do best. Or if you're federal, I've appreciated my time in federal service, but I've reached a ceiling in terms of flexibility and the kind of impact I want to make from day to day. See that? Still honest, but neutral. No mudslinging. Part 2, what you learned, outgrew. Show maturity. This is where most people either play victim or get petty. We're not doing that. You want to show you actually grew from the situation. Examples. Over the last few years, I've learned I'm at my best when I'm close to the work, solving problems with the team, not stuck in layers of approval. role. Or being in that environment taught me how to manage competing priorities, communicate through a lot of change. Now I'm ready to apply that in a place that's more agile or federal specific. Federal service taught me structure, patience, and how to navigate complex systems. I'm grateful for that, but I've also realized I'm ready for a culture that moves faster and lets me see the impact of my work more directly. No blame, no gossip. Just here's what that chapter taught me. Part 3, what you're moving toward. Tied into their seat. Now you land the plane right here. You point everything at them. This is where a lot of candidates stop too early. They say, I'm just looking for growth, and think that's enough, but it's not. You need to connect your move to their specific role, team, or company. Example, that's why this role stood out. You're building X and the work is closer to Y, which is where I bring the most value. Or, from what I've learned about this team, especially your focus on customer experience, process improvement, data-driven decisions, it lines up with the kind of work I want to do next. Or federal to civilian, this position gives me the chance to take everything I've done in structured government environment and plug it into a team that's more nimble, more customer-facing, and more focused on measurable results. That's the move I'm ready for. Now, your answer sounds more like a strategic move from chapter A to chapter B, not somebody crawling out of the wreckage. Let's talk about specific scenarios. Let's hit a few real-life versions because I know your situation isn't storybook clean. Scenario 1, the toxic boss, bad leadership. What most people do, my supervisor is terrible. They don't communicate. They play favorite. HR doesn't know anything or do anything. What do we do instead? Part 1, neutral. Leadership has changed a few times and the direction of the team isn't as clear as it used to be. Part 2, the learned. It's taught me how important clear expectations and communications are for me to do my best work. Part 3, the toward. From our conversation, it sounds like this team's values direct feedback and alignment, and that's the type of environment I'm looking for in my next role. You told the truth without dragging anybody. Scenario 2, the burnout, the overwork. What most people do is that they keep piling on more. Nobody respects boundaries. I'm exhausted. Try this instead. Part 1, the neutral. The volume and pace of the work have been high for a long time. Part 2 is the learned. I've learned a lot about managing priorities and taking ownership, but I've also realized I do my best work where there's a clear focus and support around the most important goals. In Part 3, the toward. That's why this position stood out. The way you've described the team's priorities, resources matches the kind of environment where I can deliver strong, sustainable results. Scenario 3, the federal to civilian. What most people do, I'm tired of the government. Too much red tape. I'm ready for the real world. We're not doing that. Part 1 is the neutral. I've reached a point in federal service where the next move would keep me in the same type of work for several more years. Part 2 is the learned. In that time, I've built a strong foundation in policy, compliance, and managing complex cases across different stakeholders. Part 3, the toward. Now, I want to bring that experience into a civilian role where I can move faster, stay closer to the customers, and see the impact of my work more directly. And this position looks like the right bridge for that. Same truth, completely different signal. So here's the big shift I want you to walk away with. This question, why are you leaving, is not about your past pain. It's about your next move. If you stay in, let me explain what happened to me mode, you'll keep talking yourself out of the offers you actually deserve. But if you use a 3-part formula, brief, neutral, reason, what you learned, outgrew, what you're moving toward, tied to their role, you're going to feel more calm, more in control, and way less exposed when this question hits the table. If you want help tightening this answer around your story, especially if you're leaving federal service and trying to land that next civilian role, that's what I do. I review your resume, look at the roles you're targeting, and help you build answers that match your paper. So you're not saying one thing on the resume and something totally different in the room. You can grab a free resume review link. It's in the description in my profile. And if this was helpful, subscribe to my channel, save it, send it to a coworker who's about to walk into an interview and overshare their whole life story. And in the next video, I'll break down my full 3-step system, the same one I use with clients from intake to interview to offer. I'll see you there right here.